Welcome back to the Optional Boss Podcast. This is episode 61, and we are going to be talking about some Sandbox games, builder games, and unfortunately Tyler cannot make it today. So in his stead, I have brought back a returning guest, Toadie. Toadie, what's going on?
Hello, good day. My name is Toadie. I am reading about RimWorld's new DLC. What's going on with you?
Not too much. So yeah, Tyler's off. He's a little occupied. He's been putting in a lot of hours elsewhere. So it's good that I reached out to Toadie, said, hey, this is a topic that Tyler doesn't know too much about. So let's actually, this is actually a great opportunity for us to actually discuss Sandbox games. But before that, we always have our intro. Nothing much new going on in the world aside from Summer Game Fest.
Oh yeah,
happened.
That's true.
And the Xbox Showcase, and a State of Play. And there's some cool stuff, and as much as Silksong got snubbed at the Summer Game Fest,
yeah,
it did get kind of announced with the Xbox Showcase, and Team Cherry saying it's going to be before Christmas.
Oh, cool.
So, don't hold your breath, but I'm excited.
I mean, is there anyone who has not been excited? I've never played Hollow Knight. And I'm excited for Silksong, just so that I don't have to keep hearing.
Just the community around it, right?
Yeah.
It's the new version of Half-Life 3.
Oh, true. Wow.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And those rumors are starting back up. That Half-Life 3 is actually going to happen. It's like, yeah, I'm not falling for that again.
If
it does, that's awesome.
My fun little sidetrack about the Half-Life series is that I feel as though each Half-Life game, because we've got 1, 2, and Alex, right? And each one, 2 is the one I'm least familiar with, granted. But I know that 1 was like revolutionary for its use of actual physics. And I know that Alex is revolutionary for being Alex. It's a VR game, and it's an incredible VR game. And so I feel like that's what they do is they introduce these games and they bring something completely gobsmacking or whatever to the gaming world. And so I think they're just trying to make that happen with 3. There's my copium.
No, I think you're spot on. They've even gone on record saying that unless they can actually push the medium forward.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 was good for its like first use and well usage of storytelling.
Right.
Second one was the physics.
Oh, okay.
Because it had a lot of physics that people didn't see. So that was the whole idea behind having the gravity gun. Alex, have you played Alex? Because I know you play VR.
I do play VR. I get scared playing Cult of the Lamb. There's no way you're putting me in Alex. Are you kidding me? I would love to. I really would, but no.
You know what? I will fully admit that I am a bit baby-ish when it comes to horror. I've done a lot better. Holy crap. Because like when we started this podcast, I wasn't touching horror games at all. And now I've gone through like the Resident Evil series, the Silent Hill series for the most part.
That's huge. I remember watching someone play Silent Hill 2 when it first came out, and I had nightmares just watching. It was crazy.
The remake?
No, I think like the original 2 way
OG.
Back in the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Very scary stuff. But
so that's one reason why I never finished Alex, and I should. I need to go back. But those head grabs when they just pop out at you.
Oh my god!
Like, holy shit!
I would like. There's no way. There's no way. I think it was for a charity incentive or something. I played 1 round of Phasmo in VR, and Phasmo is not a scary game. Like it pretends to be, but once you know what it is, it's not scary. Putting that in VR and having a friend in the game with me to like be that touch point of reality or whatever, it still didn't help.
Yeah.
It was still absolutely mortifying. I usually play VR standing up, but I had to like get a chair because I was so wobbly and so scared. I can't imagine a real scary game. There's no way.
I know I've joined in on some of your streams for Phasmo, and
it's a silly little fun game.
For stating that it's not that scary, I've seen you.
Okay, listen.
You play it. I'm calling you out on that.
To your average human being who's not a big old wuss, it is the less scary of the games that are out there. But Yeah, I'm just a wuss. I'm scared of the dark. Like I don't go outside after dark. If I do the cat litter this too late in the day and it's like dark outside, I don't leave my house to go put it in the compost. I just chuck it out the door cuz I'm way too scared it's too dark outside. I can't.
In all fairness, you've grown on that horror aspect because I remember you playing the original Doom and you getting scared.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
So to play something
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Phasmo,
I was genuinely scared of that. Those games are crazy.
yeah. So you've grown in that sense as well.
I've tried.
I will certainly give you that those points.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
What have you been playing recently?
Oh man, Civ. So much Civ. Civ 7.
6, 7?
Yeah, I'm one of those people who enjoy Civ 7 and it's a big old hoot. It's beautiful and I like it when numbers go up and I like murdering other people. I don't know what it is about the Civilization franchise. I'm a tree hugging hippie. Like I want peace and love and kindness to all, but when I get
And
inside
yet you're
Civ,
just talking about murdering people.
oh, I love just wiping the continent with my pink little knife. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Although I will say, I had a transatlantic flight recently, and in order to make that time pass, I booted up Civ 6 on my laptop, just because it would run a heck of a lot better. And it is still a time teleporter, whatever you call that. It was incredible.
Time sync.
Yeah.
Time sync makes the time go by fast.
Oh, absolutely. That is the shortest flight I have ever had. It was still wonderful. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
So how does it compare to like Civ 6 and the previous ones?
Depends on who you ask. It's a hot little spicy topic right now. I really like it. There are definitely some UI challenges that make you grunt in frustration. But then I'm pretty capable of just saying like, okay, I move on and I do this instead. The big
I feel like a lot of that comes down to people just not liking change.
Yeah, yeah, and being grumpy and whatever. And the devs are doing updates I would think pretty frequently, and it seems like any update that they do give is very significant. So that's a big old plus. Yeah, it's fun. I like the new mechanics they've introduced, and I like being able to choose a different leader per civilization. I think that brings a lot of like I don't know.
Oh, that's a bit different, eh?
Yeah, you could do it way back in Civ 4, but not since then. And some people are frustrated because it's not historically accurate, but like Civ is not a historically accurate game.
No,
it's
you're rewriting history.
Yeah.
When it comes to Civ.
Yeah, so it's a lot of
And then
fun.
future.
Yeah,
No, that's neat.
yeah.
That's good. I honestly don't know much about Civ. I've tried to play and never got that far into it, but
You've saved.
I can always admire
Yeah.
what they stand for. I'll say that.
Have you done any
That-
4X gaming?
Not really.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It's kind of one of those genres where either you're in or you're out. And I was out for the longest time until my community was like, I think you're gonna like this, lady. And I finally gave in and I was a City Skylines player. I was like, I'm not gonna like this. I don't know what you guys are talking about. And now I'm a Civ player.
Right.
And now I'm a 4X gamer, and like it just makes there's no way that I can possibly think about anything else while I'm playing these games. And so I love them. They just consume my entire brain, and it's so fabulous. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of interested in checking out Stellaris.
yes,
I think that's what it's called, Stellaris.
Stellaris, it's so good. Yeah, it's a huge learning curve, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's-
I've also heard that, and I do not have the most patience for that kind of stuff.
yeah, that's
Dark Souls,
fair.
I'll go in and bang my head against the wall against a boss for so long, but 4X, no, I'm scared.
Yeah, and I mean those paradox tutorials. Oh boy, they're nothing. they're not much, but Stellaris is great.
One of the biggest issues I find with tutorials, especially in like more complex games, is they drag on and they are not entertaining. And it's just
Yeah,
it's too overwhelming. Too much information without enough doing and
yeah,
implementing.
that's a fair point, eh?
So.
Yeah.
So it is a bit harder, and yeah, you know what? Maybe I should just look at YouTube find some good beginner tips and whatnot and start figuring it out. But
That's what most people do with Stellaris. And if you do ever end up picking it up, please yell at me because I would love to witness that. I do love that game. I still suck at it. I've only really played it kind of thrice or so, but I've very much enjoyed myself and I want to play more.
Actually, you know what? There was I'm assuming that you could call it a 4X strategy game. Off-World Trading Company. I did play that for a bit.
I've seen those words. Let me just type into the microphone very quickly here. Off-World.
Yeah,
Trading
that
Company.
I found that was a pretty good time. So you find out how to manipulate the market, then you're just laughing.
Yeah. Man, space is so cool. We've been making
Right?
games about space for so long, and I don't ever want it to stop. What are the games going to be about when we're like living on Mars?
If I were to take a guess, Destroyed Earth.
Oh, sick. No, you're right. That's a
Right?
that's a good thought.
The return
The
to
return to
Earth,
Earth.
and then like just seeing the destruction.
Mm-hmm. I went micro. I wonder if the next frontier after space is like atomic level stuff.
I mean, we're slowly getting there with Grounded.
Yeah, and they just announced a sequel too, didn't they, during Next Fest or whatever?
Yes, they
it was.
did.
Yeah, I haven't watched that trailer yet, actually, but Grounded 1 was fun. It was a good little jaunt.
I know I played a bit of it with my buddy.
Yeah.
Didn't get too far into it just because, time constraints.
Time, always time.
But it did seem pretty neat.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what I checked out.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Same.
Speaking of Dark Souls, there was a game that I just finished up. I've actually been on a roll this past couple weeks.
Nice.
Finished up a game called Last Hero of Nostalgia.
Oh.
Have you heard of this?
I have not.
So it's like a Dark Souls style game, so Souls-like.
Oh yeah, look at it.
But it's very comedic.
Oh yeah.
And it's all about like the world has degraded into pixels and it's losing its definition because heroes decided not to step up anymore.
This is crazy.
So like as an example, it's like you got a narrator and you launch up the game for the first time and you have a character's design screen and it just starts you out with like this 3D stick figure.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter if you change the eye width or anything, nothing changes. And then you're like, all right, well, accept. And the narrator's like, oh, welcome to the world of Nostalgia. And starts going on and says, wait. That was the character select screen or character create screen. You know what? I'm not even going to bother with this intro. You're on your own.
That's so funny. Oh.
So it's very fourth wall breaking.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself seriously kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool.
And it's very neat because like instead of bonfires, they got beacons. And when you touch one of the beacons, it just spreads out this wave around you that makes everything into high definition.
Cool.
Instead of all pixelated. So it's really neat.
I really appreciate that this is the second game you've introduced me to that has that kind of concept of game changing eras, I'm going to call it, because you introduced me to Evoland as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Evoland was great, too.
Yeah. Very cool. It's a fun
Although
little
I think
concept.
you'd have a much easier time with Evoland. Because you haven't played Dark Souls, have you?
No. No. If I read the word parry, I'm out. I'm gone.
Oh, God. I've only parried a handful of times in Dark Souls. I cannot do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dark Souls is great.
They're really fun to watch other people play and to learn via YouTube videos the lore and stuff.
Yes.
Beyond that, the closest thing I've experienced to Dark Souls is the boss Pokemon in Arceus Legends of Arceus. And I had a genuine difficult time with them because you have to dodge roll or whatever.
The one thing about Dark Souls is if you go into it looking at it as it's going to be a difficult game, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
If you go into it looking at it as it's an obstacle that you are trying to get over.
Right.
Not just, oh, this is hard for hard's sake. No, it's a journey of self-discovery and overcoming something. Because there's no easy mode, there's no hard mode or any of that kind of stuff. It is tailored a certain way for you to be able to overcome it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they give you so many tools that you can either use to your advantage and you can self-impose challenges. But it is the obstacle for you to overcome.
And it's funny because I think that's just a formative difference between us, because that's the obstacle that you overcome and get fulfillment from, and the obstacle I overcome and get fulfillment from is the learning curve in Stellaris.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, after Last Hero Nostalgia, I went on to complete Cyber Shadow, which was done by an indie developer, I believe, and published by Yacht Club Games.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Oh, look at that. Cool.
Very kind of like Ninja Gaiden.
I was just thinking that.
Didn't Flash Messenger.
Ninja Gaiden just have an announcement as well?
Yes.
Pretty
so
hype.
We've talked about Blasphemous so many times on this channel.
Right.
The Game Kitchen, who did Blasphemous 1 and 2, their next game is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is 2D Ninja Gaiden game.
Yep.
So I'm stoked for that.
Heck yeah.
They do have a demo on Steam, but
yeah,
I've definitely gone consoles.
Looks beautiful. Oh, that's my interesting announcement from the Xbox. So really not almost nothing that was talked about in any of these recent announcements was my flavor, but I'm kind of used to that. But I'm very curious about the Xbox, the Ally handheld Duber, because I'm in the headspace where I want a handheld that connects to my Steam. So I was thinking Steam Deck, obviously, for the last few months. But then this new version of the Ally got announced. And if I can have my spouse's Xbox Game Pass games and my Steam library on a handheld, I would be very happy. But then I'm still also maybe hoping that a Steam Deck 2 is coming, because I think I would rather that. I don't know.
Well, with the Steam Deck, you can get the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate stuff on there.
Yeah, right? Like you can do almost anything on it.
So
yeah. And I can put like emulators and stuff on it too. It still does kind of seem like the better choice, doesn't it?
It kind of does. I don't know too much about the Ally.
Yeah.
The Ally.
I have no idea.
Whatever it's called.
Yeah.
ROG. The ROG. But
yeah, I'm gonna wait and see.
It does seem like a neat device. I'll give it that.
Yeah. And more competition is better, I think, right?
Oh, speaking of, like, we haven't had an episode since the Switch 2 came out.
True.
Switch 2 is out.
Woohoo.
Have you had a chance to like see much on it, or see one in person, or check it out? Or
I've watched people play Super Mario World, and it looks pretty. Or not Super Mario World. Hello.
Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart World. My goodness.
Super Mario Kart World.
Yes. And yeah, that looks cool. I feel like its release games are a little bit shallow feeling, because I think a lot of them are just Switch 1 games upgraded. But I don't know. I've heard generally positive things about people's experiences, right?
Yeah.
You actually have one.
Well, depends on which section of the internet you want to go check out.
True.
Yeah, I ended up getting one. I know Tyler did too.
Cool.
I do not have any Switch 2 games because, well, there's definitely a lacking of them. And I found that with the Switch 1 as well. Because when the Switch 1 came out, they had Breath of the Wild and I mean Switch 1 and 2 and these just like kind of gimmicky games.
Yeah.
So didn't really bother with the Switch till like a year after it came out. And it's been just, honestly, I use my Switch a lot for like indie games. Indie physical games that I can get. Like I have more indie games than first party games.
Yeah.
Or third party games, I guess. If definition aside.
Yeah. We get your vibe.
Know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a wonderful indie machine. And the Switch 2 with GameCube stuff, like I'm finally going through Wind Waker. So
right. Yeah, that would be very cool.
I've so seeing what they come out on GameCube online is going to be neat. Is it worth it at this point? I mean, if you're a fan of the Switch 1, then I don't see why it wouldn't be worth it. You can always wait a while for the actual games to start coming out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it feels like a more premium machine. And it really is just a Switch Pro.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what people were asking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm excited to see what they come out with. I've absolutely loved my Switch, so I figured why not get a Switch 2?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to get the use out of it.
Yeah, I think if you're going to get the use out of it, and everybody knows their own wallets best, right?
Yes.
So, but yeah, I haven't.
It was a birthday gift.
That's so fun. Yeah, I might buy myself my birthday gift this year, and it might be a Steam Deck. But then, like, how long do I wait for rumors of a Steam Deck 2? So it's so difficult. But
And what kind of hardware would it even have
I have no idea.
to increase? Because most games are like pretty on par with each other now.
Yeah.
There's not much technical advancement.
Well, and it's not like games I play are the most demanding either. Probably the most demanding game
Right?
I would play on it would be Civ 7. But really, that's probably better played on a laptop, which I
And
own.
granted, I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming the new Doom game runs on the Steam Deck.
Mm.
I haven't actually looked at this, so
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, feel free to yell, but just saying.
Yeah. No, that's true, eh?
If it can run the new Doom game, no problem.
Probably going to be all right.
It's probably going to be fine for anything that the average user is actually going to check out.
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
It's true. He makes good points.
And I gotta also shout out that Liza P got new DLC. That Shadow dropped it in nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, people are pretty excited
So,
about that, I think.
I gotta say that one for Tyler because he's not here to gush about it, but he's been waiting anxiously
Yeah, fun. Yeah.
because he absolutely loves Liza P.
Yeah, from what I understand, people who are into that genre of games, it was top notch. I think.
Oh, it was a good time.
Yeah. The two games that stood out for me, I didn't see everything. I didn't see all the showcases. I'm a fake fan. But I wrote down where did it go? Dear Future Toadie. The felt that boxing, the little Muppets boxing game looks ridiculous. But I'm
the Muppet Punch Out.
Yeah. But I mean, the graphics, like, insane. It looks real. It looks like
it looked really good.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those ones that's like, that's really cool. Not for me, but I want to see that be played.
Exactly. Yeah. And if I'm being really honest with myself, I think if I wasn't like a creator, I probably maybe wouldn't buy it just for myself. But I think sharing that with an audience would be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
But then also Lego Voyagers, the little 2-player co-op Lego game where you're a single brick and you're building as you go. I don't play many games with my spouse, but I will force him to play that with me. I'm so excited about that game.
Well, it's Lego. If he doesn't like Lego, then
then we need to have a chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He needs to get his priorities straight.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, those ones stood out. And then I heard there was an Anno announcement, but I didn't actually look at it yet. But that would be the other game. That would be
There was. I forget what it was though.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, I might already probably know it all. But it was about Anno 117 Pax Romana, and I'll be getting that at release for sure. That's my style of game.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you might call a builder and simulation game, sort of. Kind of.
So we're 25 minutes into this almost. Should we get up to the topic at hand?
If you like, you're the boss. You're the optional boss, if you will.
All right, let's do this.
See what I did there, folks? What games do you play that are in this genre that you're calling?
So we're going to be talking about like sandbox simulation games and just that kind of vibe. And I mean, oh god, it really depends on how much we want to stretch this out. Because we could go all over the map, and realistically, like some of the smaller ones that I've done and want to go back and check out, like Auction Not Included.
Yes.
And it's funny because when you were on for, it was episode 19 or something.
Yeah.
When we were talking about Pokemon, I think during the intro, you brought up the fact that you were checking that out.
Yeah.
At the time.
Yeah.
So, and that's just a nice little cute game by Clay. Same makers as Don't Starve.
Yep.
I want to say they did Hot Lava too.
I find it interesting that, like, have you played a fair chunk of Oni? Oxygen not included?
I've put about like 20, 25 hours in.
Yeah. I would argue.
So, and there's a few restarts in there, that's for sure.
Of course. Yeah. But it consumes like a similar brain power to some of these. Well, I was going to say 4X games, but now that I'm saying the words out loud, I would maybe more align it with like Factorio brain power, maybe, which I know you love.
No. I've never played that game in my life.
Oh, Factorio is so good.
Like, Oxygen Not Included, so I'll be honest with these types of games, the colony type games, in this spectrum, I've always get really frustrated when things aren't going my way. Like when your little minions are not doing what you ask them to do.
Yes.
Or you have something priority and you set the priority on it and they're just like, no, go fuck yourself. Yeah. It's like, okay, I'm going to put you in a little puddle of your own weed then. I'm going to box you in.
Yes.
And you're going to have to live with that.
How quickly they become war crime simulators.
Right? Yeah. And, I mean, don't bring morality into it.
Can you imagine
it's
if
just like
there was a morality system in these games?
Oh, God. I didn't realize that you could lose at The Sims, but as a kid, I would have lost at The Sims. The amount of times I took the ladder out of the pool.
Yeah. I was the roller coaster tycoon yeeting them into the air person.
Oh, yes. Fuck. I didn't even think about roller coaster tycoon. I haven't played 2, 3, or any of the other ones, but like number 1, that was my go-to baby.
Same. Absolutely.
They re-released it for consoles recently, actually.
Yeah.
It's like I'm so tempted to just snag that up. Just if anything for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah, I think I grabbed it for the Switch, but
Did you?
I found just controls clunky. It's just that's a mouse and keyboard game.
I think that was one of the things that's kind of stopped me.
Yeah.
Although Switch 2 has mouse.
Quote mouse. Yes.
So apparently you can hook up a USB mouse to it too.
Right. I guess that makes sense, eh? They have USB ports. Yeah.
It would make sense.
Right. Interesting. But yeah, Oni.
But yeah, definitely game. A mouse game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How much did you play in Oxygen Not Included?
Not enough.
Not enough?
I have my Steam open. Where is O in the alphabet? Does anybody know?
It's in the middle.
16 hours apparently.
I guess for anyone who doesn't know what Oxygen Not Included is it's a colony sandbox style game. I don't know if there is an ending to it. I would imagine there is of some sort.
There must be.
But you essentially start with like 3 different survivors on this weird planet. You're underground, and oxygen actually is included because you can find it. But it's essentially it's a management game. You're trying to take care of their needs. You're trying to grow food. You're trying to get rid of any poisonous gases. Bring in oxygen. You got to take care of a little bit of everything for them. You got to be able to make them self-sustainable
and
to live.
Like it's a management game with real air fluid mechanics. Because certain air types, that's not the right word, are heavier than others, and that happens in the game, and so you want to make sure that your carbon dioxide has somewhere to fall to. I'm gonna get roasted because I'm saying the wrong words.
No, but you're right in that aspect, because like every colonist produces, when they exhale, carbon dioxide, and you got to be able to get some kind of oxygen out of that, so you can build machines that'll transfer different types of gases, because there's like chlorine in the air and all this other kind of shit, right? So you can gas out your actual people. You have to make sure that you have outhouses for your colonists so they aren't shitting on the floor.
And temperature is a factor as well, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
I gotta get back into that game.
It was a good time. I enjoyed it.
I think
between go ahead.
Yeah, between Oxygen Not Included and like my current eyeballs on RimWorld. I've been playing RimWorld recently anyways, and then I learned like just today, just 6 seconds or 6 minutes before you and I started recording, they announced their next DLC. I think something that's perhaps a little bit unique to this kind of very vague genre that we're talking about is how these games are so old and yet we're still enjoying them years and years later. Like RimWorld is 10 years old. And
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure, I'm going to look it up now that I've said it. Oni was released in 2019, so that's, 6 years or so.
But it was in early access before that for a few years, like 3 or 4 years before.
Right. So even older. And
yeah,
RimWorld's official release date 2018, but it was also in early access for a long while. I played it when it was in beta still. That was when I first got it. And like the games just, they hold up for one, and something like RimWorld or Stardew Valley, for example, they get updates and or DLC depending on the game, and they're just still
Stardew Valley is
fun.
definitely one of those games that just kind of came out of nowhere for the. I mean, they always had like their blog and their demo versions and whatnot behind the scenes, like not on Steam.
Yeah.
But when it hit Steam, for a majority of people, it just kind of popped out of nowhere.
I was one of those people, for sure. Yeah.
That knew about it beforehand, or?
No, that it did not, that it came out of nowhere for. And I was a big Harvest Moon fan. Like I bought all of the Harvest Moon games as soon as possible before the developers switched or whatever, and loved that genre. And it's tough when you see a fair chunk of people. I guess maybe this has happened more so after Stardew, but there's so many, like, I'm going to call them Harvest Moon clones or Stardew clones that are trying to kind of do the farming sim thing, but it's so tough to bring something new enough and refreshing enough to that type of game, because even today, if something comes out that is a Stardew clone, you've got to give me a reason not just to go boot up Stardew instead.
No, absolutely,
because it's still great.
And that was one thing I found with Graveyard Keeper.
Oh, we should talk about that.
Have you checked that out?
Okay, so I got that game for the Switch because I really needed a couch game. I love me some couch games. And man, I was so excited because I had seen somebody play a little bit of it, but not enough to know kind of what to do or whatever, be spoiled. I really did not enjoy it at all, and I don't understand why.
Oh, really?
I think
so. For one thing, it runs like ass on Switch.
Luckily, I don't think that was a problem for me. I think I'm pretty ignorant to like frames. I don't think my eyes care if something is 20 frames or 120. And
nope, that's fair.
I take that as a plus personally.
No, absolutely.
But I think
if you can be ignorant to that, that's awesome,
right? I think a big part of it was that I got stuck and I just had no idea what to do. And I did end up looking up some things, and I eventually managed to move forward a little bit. But then, like, by the time I figured out, I guess the next thing that I had to do, I was just annoyed at the game, and there was no, I don't know, it wasn't fun, and it should be 100% up my alley. I should love that game, and I really don't, and I don't know why.
So I'll be totally honest with you. That is exactly my first experience with it.
Yeah.
Because I got on Steam when it first came out, and I was checking it out. I played it for a couple hours, and I just kind of, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
I was just kind of done. When it got a physical for Switch, I went and got it, and I played it. Took my time with it, and actually like learned what it was trying to tell me about.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoyed it 10 times more. It was actually a really good playthrough, but it took a little bit of that getting over the hump because its tutorials are not great.
Yeah.
It gives you that kind of like, with Stardew, you just kind of jumped in and started doing everything, where there's so many like little minor mechanics and a lot of figuring things out on your own that it kind of overwhelms you because it's expecting a lot off the hop.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is, especially with like the amount of energy you consume right off the hop as well.
Right. Yeah, that was a whole thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. It's actually a really good game. Is it Stardew Valley? No. But
it does.
It has its own charm.
Yeah, it does something different than Stardew, which is a good thing, I think.
Absolutely, because it's, well, yes, it does have the farming aspect in it. It's more about like taking care of corpses.
Yeah, which is
But
fun.
like, it wasn't till halfway through my playthrough that I actually understood how the red and white skulls actually worked properly. Like how you can get some of them removed, and then that increases your graveyard number.
Oh, okay.
Or why you want to be doing books and different sermons and everything, and what kind of different sermons you have access, or even like it breaks it down your experience into your red, green, blue points, and then
Yes.
what each one actually represents. One is like your labor, one is your nature, and one is your spiritual. So if you're doing things that are spiritual, you get blue points. You're doing anything in nature, like cutting down wood or anything, you're getting nature. And if you are cutting up lumber into like smaller pieces or logs into lumber and stuff like that, then you're getting like your labor.
Yeah.
And once you start realizing where those points are actually coming from, you actually start advancing in the tech tree.
Yeah.
And tech tree is something that all these games pretty much have in common.
Yeah. Yeah. Another game that does the tech tree almost exactly the way that you just described it, that is something I will pick up every now and then in alternative to Stardew, is Traveler's Rest. Have you played that one at all or heard of that?
I have not. I don't even know if I
Uh,
probably have heard of it, but I can't.
it's in early access, of course, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy the heck out of it. I've been watching it for a very long time because I was influenced by an influencer friend, and it's Stardew-esque, but you run like a bar, an inn in ye olden times.
Oh, okay.
You have a pet, as you always do. You can create like a million different food and or beverage dishes. You do the farming and the crafting and the stuff. And I wish I could say what makes me okay to pick this up when I could just play Stardew. But like there's not a whole heck of a lot that is that different than Stardew. I guess there is the running of the inn and the servicing of customers is the main. No, that is what it is. I'm realizing it as I say this out loud. So like there's all the Stardew stuff. So chopping down trees and getting your resources to craft your item to put in your house, or in this case the inn or whatever, right? And eventually there's going to be relationships and stuff too.
Yep.
But I think what makes Traveler's Rest fun is that you can spend time on that loop, and or you can spend time on like having your bar actually be open, and you have to physically be there and serve your guests, and that kind of the
gives a whole other like kind of
game mechanic,
gameplay style in it.
Yeah. And so when you have done that for a long while, you're like, okay, I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. I'm going to close my bar and I'm going to go and do the Stardew stuff. And I think the ability to flip flop between that does a big service to it.
So not a sandbox game or anything like that, but a game that kind of does that is Moonlighter. I think a Moonlighter 2 was just announced too.
Yeah.
But you run a shop, and then it's also a roguelike dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
So you can find stuff in the dungeon and sell it in your shop. You got to set your prices and whatnot and try and sell everything so you can make the most money so you can advance the town.
Oh, this looks great. I'm looking at Moonlighter too. Yeah, this looks, I'm going to wish this literally right now because of you. That looks super fun. Yeah, that whole balance of different gameplay aspects is I think a real boon to many games. Cult of the Lamb is a perfect example of it as well. They balance it incredibly. I can't get over how much I gosh darn love Cult of the Lamb. What a fun little game. And I'm not a roguelite person. Usually when I see those tags on a game, I'm out. Like I just dip.
Yes. I found that ever since I played Hades. I can't play a lot of them now.
Yeah. Is that because Hades is too good, or?
I just really liked its progression.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair, right? What did I play recently that was roguelike?
Inscription.
Yep. Oh my gosh, top 3 games of all time. Easy.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, right up there beside Tunic. I don't think anything
Tunic
will
good too.
ever replace Outer Wilds, but oh man.
You've played some Factorio before, right? And yes, I'm bringing this game up.
Factorio is incredible. Like it's one of the It's one of my favorite games of all time for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it about these games that have? I mean, Factorio is a bit of a different beast because it has the different things that you're actually working towards, and like Stardew has
Mhm.
things that you're working towards. RimWorld, Oxygen not included, but like, what is it about these games that like you're looking for the kind of grind
I think,
and monotony that they have to advance yourself?
man, I think you could answer that question in one of two ways. You could answer that question by putting together a 6-hour video essay and getting into every little piece that it is. And I really want to do that one day. Or I think you could answer that question with number go up. And like that's such a
That's
simplistic and kind of it almost does a disservice to it, but I think that is the crux of
But
it.
it kind of makes sense,
Yeah.
honestly. Because if you're looking at games like Diablo or anything that has like the repetitiveness, Path of Exiles,
Mm.
and all that, you're always looking for the better gear so you can make better damage numbers so
Mhm.
they can go up.
Mhm.
And that's a different genre style, right? So you're constantly looking for those higher numbers, do the most damage, and get further in some kind of loop.
Yeah. And
So yeah, maybe that's exactly what it
yeah.
is
And I
just
think
make number
this
go up.
harkens back to the difference we just said about your satisfaction in overcoming the Dark Souls being Dark Souls and getting good, right? And whereas my satisfaction comes from learning Stellaris and getting good. And I think there's a similar distinction there. Oh my gosh, what game did you just say? Let's go Path of Exile, for
Path of
example.
Exile.
Yeah, so
Yep.
number go up there because you did fighting and combat-y things to find better gear, and that's a satisfaction for some people. And then with games like Factorio, number go up because you learned how to balance your belts and get more throughput on your whatevers. And
Yeah.
like
Or you get one of the science packs actually producing
yes,
at a good
at
rate.
a good science per minute, if you will. Oh
Yes.
gosh. And so for people who like those games, that is their satisfaction from number go up.
And then there is also the tech trees that might have something really cool at the end that you're trying to
Mhm.
work towards, so you can use that. And I know a lot of games use that kind of carrot on a stick. Oh, you can get this really cool thing if you get up here.
Yeah.
And it's always so funny because like, okay, I got the cool thing, but I'm done everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Why did I want this so bad if now I don't really get to use it?
Yeah. Well, but with these sandboxy games, you just keep going
Yes, they
forever.
keep going.
You better your science per minute output.
Yep.
Well, what do you do in Factorio after you've done all the science?
There's unlimited science, so you can keep
Right.
increasing.
There are a bunch of those, aren't there? That's one of
So.
my facts that I have written down. Oh man.
Yeah, there's ones that you just keep increasing and
Yeah.
it gets exponentially more costly, if you will.
Yes. Yeah. And
But like at Space Age, the expansion for Factorio, like
Mhm.
the last planet you can't land on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's just a giant hurdle. It's called the Shattered Planet, and you can actually get there, but you can't land on it.
Cool.
And you need to build a big enough self-sustaining ship because there's no way that you're going to contain all the ammo that you need to make it there.
Right.
So you need to be able to break down these asteroids, break down the big ones, and make the ammo on the ship enough, and missiles and railgun ammo to actually get there. And you just still, even when you're parked outside the planet, you're still having these asteroids come.
Right.
And it gets messy. If you ever see like video of this, it's to get there is quite the feat. I have not made it that far, but you do roll credits before that.
That's so fun.
So it gives like the post content,
yeah.
post game content.
And to give some perspective to anybody who hasn't played Factorio, zero experience in Factorio, I would not be surprised if it took someone a couple hundred hours to get to that point.
I mean, for my last playthrough was about 250 hours.
Yeah.
And that was just to roll credits on Space Age.
Yeah.
So that wasn't even getting to the Shattered Planet all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. I am sad that I have not gotten through much of Space Age yet. I want to. I love this game, Just always time, but I will get there
Yep.
eventually. And Factorio is
No,
another one of those games where like I'm sure if I play it in 5 years, it's gonna be just as fun.
oh, absolutely. And it's who knows what they'll have in 5 years,
Exactly. Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Maybe they're working on another DLC,
Yeah.
which if it's like Space Age, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so there's two big Sandbox games that I know you've played a lot of.
All right.
The one, and I've played a lot of the other, and at least I have experience in the one I'm going to mention for you. But for me, Ark Survival Evolved
yeah.
or Survival Ascended or whatnot, it is technically a sandbox. There's things to do, but you're always continuously growing. You still have that grind. You're cutting down the trees. You're mining the rocks. And you're building resources out of this stuff.
Yeah.
It goes back to all that kind of stuff. And then you're trying to get the better dinosaurs so you can ride around and eat things.
Little dinos. What's the goal in Ark?
So there is a final boss
Okay.
of each world that you play. So each map is its own arc.
Oh, okay.
And the obelisks that are floating in the sky each have a boss, and there's 3 different tiers of each boss. There's your easy, medium, hard, if you will. On the first map, the island, I think it's just called, there is what's known as the tech cave, and you go in there and it's essentially just a giant gauntlet to the end, and then at the end you get teleported up to a spaceship. And this is when you find out there's a lot more going on to the world of Ark than what meets the eye.
Right.
Spoilers quickly. Give a couple seconds for that. So when you get up to that spaceship, you start realizing that the big thing in the sky on the spaceship that keeps launching down these little things to the planet, they're actually making the dinosaurs.
Oh, crazy. Oh, wow.
So you're seeing these dinosaurs get constructed and then launch down, and then the obelisks that have items, they get dropped down from the same spaceship. And then you get to the end and you have a giant boss fight at the end.
Cool.
So, and then you start realizing that when it gets down to the last map, I forget what it's called now, Jesus. But you start realizing that like they have a couple different domes, and this was like a testing center for all this.
Right.
And then the whole experiment kind of exploded and wiped humanity off. So it's just a machine run, everlasting grind.
Cool. With dinos.
So,
and I'm sure dinos are a big part of the appeal for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Because I mean, that's what you see. You see dinos and crafting and survival.
Mm-hmm.
Survival sandbox, if you will.
Yes.
That's what brought me to it. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, dinos.
Yeah.
I want to ride a T-Rex.
Yeah.
I want to wave my little arms in the sky.
One of the games that I tentatively wrote down from the recent, what do you call those things? I just keep calling them announcement shows. Showcases, yeah. Was the Jurassic World Evolutions 3. I don't know how. Give me 1 second here. So sorry. I don't know how
Have you played the first one?
No, I didn't know that they existed until seeing this. And my spouse was like, what are you talking about? How did you not know these exist?
Okay, I'm going to say the exact same thing. How did you not know these exist?
They should be right up my alley, right? But
like this is what, number 3 coming out?
It is, and it looks fabulous, and I'm probably going to grab it. Cuz yeah, it looks like everything I want to do. I would love to build a little theme park duber with dinos, cuz I really really wanted to get into Planet Zoo cuz it's a big one.
Yep.
Folks that are in kind of my circle of like City Skyline people who play the OG City Skylines to make things pretty, they all gravitate towards Planet Zoo as well.
Right.
But okay, don't come at me, but I don't love putting the little animals in little boxes. But dinosaurs I know aren't real, even though I know the animals aren't real either, right? But the dinos aren't alive anymore. Anyways, for some reason it's easier with dinosaurs. So I'm
going to counterpoint you because you say come at you.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
So one thing that you got to remember, build a more ethical zoo.
No, it's true. Oh god, that's a whole other topic, my man. But
I know. I gotta poke fun where I can.
I know.
Um,
I'm so dumb. At least I know it, I think. But yeah. I'm very excited about it. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
yeah, no, it should be a good time.
Yeah.
It looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, visually as well, it looks wonderful. I appreciate games that are easy to read visually. I really require that being
Yes.
76 years old. So
I mean, this is going to sound really weird, but like a lot of these colony or survival games and whatnot, you know what I think they kind of stem from?
Mhm.
Lemmings.
Yeah, damn, I really need to try that game, don't I?
But you've seen it. It's
Yeah.
getting things to make things and then end up accidentally sacrificing things.
Have I?
Workplace incidents and all that.
Have I seen it though?
You would have had to.
I would have had to. You would think so. Why can I? Oh, is it maybe not on Steam? I don't think it is.
No,
it's gonna be.
it was like DOS age, so
Yeah. I genuinely, I don't think I've seen it. I think I might have
Really?
to, yeah, I think I might have to put that on my bump this up to do it list. Oh, I just Google image searched it, but I didn't provide anything else, and I'm just getting cute little rodents. But no, I see it here. Yeah. Oh yeah, that little game. I need to give that a playthrough, don't I? But you're right. It does probably stem all the way back from that. That would be a fun little topic to explore, is like, what was the first colony builder?
First of each genre.
Yeah. I
might have to write that one down.
Small tangent, but I hope that you're okay with it. I recently did a 24-hour extravaganza, if you will, where I took 24 games that Steam users had given the City Builder tag. Because for folks who may not know me, I have genuinely thousands of hours across the City Skylines games. City Skylines is like where I grew up. And so I'm an aficionado on the City Builder genre.
Absolutely.
And so our whole goal, we played each of them for at minimum 45 minutes, at maximum 1 hour, which is definitely enough time to get a feel for the game. Completely, no problem there. And
yeah, absolutely.
And
you just finished the first page of Stellaris.
Yeah, exactly. And we determined if the Steam users were in fact numbskulls. Do you want to guess how many of these games were dictated to be city builders by me and my community a little bit?
Okay, so there's 24 games.
There's 24 games. And the requirement was that they had the city builder game or tag on Steam, like as a user inputted tag. Most of them I had not played before, and I just had to already own them because I'm cheap.
I'm going to say 6.
2. 2 of them.
2.
City State 2 and the upcoming Metropolis 1998, which I'm so excited about. But it's
That's not many.
The whole point of saying that, I totally lost the plot on this tangent, was that I would say probably 19 of them were colony simulation games. Like RimWorld, or like, I'm going to say the old Lemmings, which is how I got to this topic in my head. They're just, you have a small colony, you dictate priorities for gathering resources, and you put those resources towards doing other things. And though that's not a city builder, where is your traffic management? Where are your skyscrapers or your whatever, right?
So you're getting nitty gritty.
Well, that was
with the definition.
That was the whole topic piece, is like, what is the definition of a city builder game? And for me, I came from City Skylines, and then through City Skylines, I went backwards and I played SimCity, right? And so when I think city builder, I think those games. I don't think Foundation or Banished was the one that people really thought I was going to say, okay, this is a city builder. No, it's a colony simulation game. But I think that's a really fun topic to explore, is like the definition.
I think there is definitely a difference between a builder or crafter versus city builder. And I think there does need to be that little bit of definition in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like...
Because I mean, some colony games you could technically call a city builder if you like make little communities and whatnot. And I don't know if you want to call them community builders or town builders.
That's just it. Yeah. Like village builders. Yeah. That's the.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, there are some people who like the whole thing, such as yourself with like the traffic management and all that kind of like the little nitty gritty things. And then there's people like me who don't want a lot of those mechanics, but they want a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you don't want a city builder. You want a colony simulation management, like resource management game. Like in a city builder, you will never assign a number of people or colonists or whatever to go and gather a certain resource and then have that resource stored and then use it to build something else. Like in a city builder, you'll have a commercial district and a industry district where, sure, you could say that there's people that are working in those buildings. And yes, you could say that they're gathering resources, but like not in the, I'm putting down a woodcutter and it's gathering logs.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Or like it could even go into some of the RTS games, like the old Stronghold games.
Oh, yeah.
This is my hunter, this is my baker, and they're making the resources and bringing them to the granary.
We played in that list was a new RTS game that I didn't realize was RTS when I put it on the list, and it was called something. Started with an F, I think. I have an Excel sheet. Anyways, but it was a cool little blend. It wasn't for me, but it had all of the colony simulation resource management stuff. But then it also had RTS. And so one of your little buildings in your little village trained your colonists to become a warrior, for example. And then you had like 2 warriors and you marquee selected them and went and had them go and kill the other guy in real time. And you couldn't pause the game, which is like a extraordinarily immediate no for me. If you don't let me pause my game and think, you're gone. But yeah, it was a cool blend. I could see other people appreciating that for sure.
All right. So now I got to be a little bit of a troll.
All right.
Because the definition. Would Factorio be a city builder?
No. This is me with my very bias.
No. This is me poking fun now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So just have fun with this.
Okay.
Just destroy my logic.
Okay.
There's population control, taking out the biters.
Oh.
You're dealing with pollution.
That's funny. That's a really funny connection.
You are working with traffic control, trying to line your belts up properly and make sure that they're going to the right place without jamming up.
God, that's so funny because one of the big arguments I was making
dealing with trains and rails.
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, one of the arguments I was making against the colony sims was that, like, your little colonist people don't have any collision. So there's, like, 0 traffic management or whatever. But your belts in Factorio do.
Yes, they do.
In their own way, right? But where's the city? That's my argument to you is, where's your city? Where are your buildings?
Have you never made a mega base?
I mean, you can have.
I have my industrial zone. I mean, most of it's
all an industrial zone,
Shut
isn't
up.
it? Yeah.
But I got like my nuclear plant over here. I have my outposts over here, which could be considered like countryside.
So funny.
I got my main base, which is all about science.
Very funny. I think it's...
And depending on the size of it, you could call it definitely a city.
I will pull the same crap on you that I pulled on the folks who really, really wanted me to say that Banished was a city builder, for example.
Yep.
My like be all end all answer is that if you want to like, for them, it was like, yes, you are putting buildings down and they will eventually become a city. So you're literally building a city, right? They always went into the pedantics of the words city builder. And so my argument is that I'm not going by what those words say, or for your example, I'm not going by what the words pollution and industrial zone say. I'm going by what is the soul and heart of a city builder. And as much as Factorio is one of my favorite games of all time, it is not a city builder. In fact, I probably
I got one more point.
Oh God, here we go.
Logistics robots. You can only fit so many into a roboport, so you got to make sure that there's enough housing
Oh,
for your
man.
little robots.
Okay, I have a counter argument. I think your factory is your industry. I think your residential area is your biters. And I think your robots are your commercial zones because they are taking goods to and from your industry zone to help move it through a consumption line like commercial does.
The area, one of the popular tactics for managing all the stuff that you have and to continue making like all your resources and whatnot that you use, like your belts and whatnot, they're all developed in what the community has called a mall.
Yes, shopping mall. Oh,
Wouldn't
yeah.
that be commercial zone?
Saying those words out loud, I didn't realize where you were going with this. I see where you're going with this. Absolutely. Yeah, you got a little shopping mall for sure. You can even get sushi.
Mall. That's my commercial.
Yeah, you
district.
can get sushi. Yep. No, it's great.
You got the sushi belts.
Yep. No, that's no. I'm gonna write this down.
This is clearly just poking fun at some of the ridiculous tags that can actually be out in the world and what some people are using it for. That was the whole idea behind that.
Not to
whole exercise, if you will. It's not a city builder.
Not to self-promo or anything on your podcast, but I think you've created a new YouTube series for me. And my first video in that series is going to be Factorio is a city builder. And I'm just going to make I'm basically using you for content now. And I'm going to turn these ideas into a video because I think that's brilliant. It's a lot of fun.
No, it's a good time. I had to poke fun just because like there's a lot of things I find on Steam that is just like, why? It's like the amount of times that people call it a Souls-like, and it's just because you got to go pick up what you dropped when you died.
Oh yeah,
it's like that's not a Souls-like.
Yeah, that's been a game mechanic long before the Souls games.
Yeah. I mean, Diablo 1 had that.
Yeah.
So, but like the tag system and whatnot is overly flawed. But yeah, I think we just proved that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I guess we could probably start wrapping this up. What is it that appeals about these city builders or colony simulation games or simulation games in general? I mean, there's a lot of simulation games that we didn't actually touch. Power Wash Simulator and like Surgeon Simulator and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
I mean, want to stay on the things that we kind of knew. Oh, the other one that I said that you've played a lot?
Yeah.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. I love me some Minecraft. It's like a survival crafting game, I guess.
Yeah. But it is a true to its word sandbox game.
Yes.
You are just there to do what you want.
Yeah. I mean, Minecraft, I think, differs from many, if not maybe all of the ones that we've talked about today, or many, in that my reason for playing Minecraft is just creativity. I don't play in creative mode. I still really appreciate the grind and the calm and the fun of survival mode. But like putting down those blocks and building the things you want to build with them is a creative expression, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the appeal to Minecraft. I love Minecraft.
It is a good time. It's amazing how much has exploded.
Yeah. Oh, and it's never ending. One of my proudest moments as an aunt was when my nephew did his first redstone door.
Oh, nice.
Good lad.
Learning.
Yeah. I mean, how do you even begin to talk about Minecraft? Everybody knows what Minecraft is. It's fun.
Minecraft is Minecraft. It's blocks that are pixels or pixel looking voxels that you build things with, depending on what it looks like. And you can build a sword and you stay in at night.
If you're
light is your friend.
Don't let me forget that I have one game I want to suggest to viewers before we end, but to answer the question of what is so enticing about these games, I think that
Number go big,
but I think it's different. So for example, the Stellaris and the Civ and even the Factorios, I think those games are number go big and they're relatively brain challenging. Like
Right.
that's what you go into those games seeking usually, and that's what you get your enjoyment of usually, right? I think a lot of these kind of, I'm going to call them more calmer, either the colony sims or like the Stardew-esque, so farming sims. Um, I think that they have just enough of the number go big or colony progresses or character progresses, but they also have enough ease and maybe enough accessibility um, that they're more fun for a more casual time. And you don't always want to have your brain exploding with difficulty. It's
Right.
nice just to turn off and have your colonists do their stuff because you told them to, and they say yes or no, sir, and they build cool stuff. What about
Well,
you?
they shit on their floor.
Yeah, or they poop on the floor. Yeah.
I think for me, not so much the colony sims. Like, I don't play a whole lot of them.
Hmm.
I played Oxygen Not Included. Aside from that, I don't really know. But I think with like just general sandbox and builder games, like Factorio
Mhm.
or like Ark, is you're given so many options of what you can do. Same with like Stardew Valley. You can work. Let's use Stardew Valley as an example. You can work on the community center. You can go fishing. You can start up a farm. You have so many different options of things that you can go forward with. And you kind of choose your path. It's like a choose your own adventure. Eventually, you're going to do pretty much all of it. Absolutely. But you get to choose how much or how little of each thing that you can do. And you have a designated goal of where you're trying to end up. So it's like you choose your own adventure trying to get there.
Yeah.
Factorio, you can decide on how complex or how messy, how much spaghetti you want to make.
Yes.
It's up to you. It is the freedom of choice, but yet you have your destination in sight. And you're always trying to work on that the way that you want. And you can use as little or as much brain power as you want. Colony Sims, again, haven't played too many of them.
Similar vibes,
but
I would say.
Similar vibe, but at the same time, you need to work fast.
Yeah, I guess depending on like the difficulty settings, but generally, yeah.
Yeah. Thinking like Oxygen Not Included, you don't want the oxygen to run out.
Right. Yeah, people need to eat, I guess. Lame.
I think it's a little more than just number go big. Although that is a definite push. But it's also just the freedom of how to get to your destination.
Yeah, you're given a certain rule set,
right?
like within the game's parameters, and then you choose how to navigate it. And often you're choosing what your destination is as well. Like, are you just trying to decorate a very pretty farm in Stardew and have it be all neat and tidy? Or are you trying to 100% the game? Or are you trying to do a Joja run or all that sort of stuff?
Do it as fast as possible. Or like, there's no real time constraints.
Yeah.
Especially with Factorio. Like, my Space Age playthrough was 250 hours-ish. But I could choose to do it faster, or I could just take my time with some things. I could have sat down and made more optimized and faster ratio-dependent belts.
Yeah.
Science output, science per minute. But I was satisfied with what I had.
Yeah. One of my Factorio playthroughs, my goal was, it was my second playthrough, and my goal was to blast off in the ship, so essentially roll credits in 24 hours. And I did it at 23 hours and 58 minutes. But you bet that base was messy. That was some spaghetti.
Oh, that would be spaghetti.
Oh, yeah. And at the end, I was cannibalizing some parts of the factory to make the spaceship parts go, and it was a wreck. But it was super fun. Super fun.
But you made it.
Yep.
And now with Space Age, you're just launching thousands and thousands of rockets.
Yeah. Oh, man. I need to get there.
Oh, it's a good time. Well, I think that's all I got. What was the game recommendation? Or you had something you wanted to say?
My game recommendation, the farming sim that I have been dedicating my life to recently. It's funny, I talk about just going back to Stardew, but I haven't been doing that. Is called Dinkum. Have you played it or seen it?
Oh, okay. I've seen it, yes.
Oh my gosh.
I haven't played it.
This cute little game, it feels so underrated. It is a farming sim in that you can farm But and there's like townsfolk. It's Animal Crossing in that you have to like convince the townsfolk to move in kind of thing, but they're humans.
Okay.
It's based in Australia, so everybody says like "G'day, mate," and your money is called dinks, and you have dingoes and crocodiles or alligators, I don't remember which, and it's hot. And the
The temperature being a thing.
temperature's not, I guess, actually a factor in the game, but it's like you can see the air being wavy and stuff, and the ground is red, and
Okay.
the sunsets are green before they go into like sunset mode. It's so cool. It's block based for the ground, I guess, like the way that Minecraft is, but there's all of your buildings.
Kind of voxely.
Yeah, but your buildings and your furniture and stuff is normal. It's what you would just picture a bench looks like, kind of thing. Anyways,
Okay.
it's so fun. If you have any interest at all in Stardew like games, you enjoy decorating a town, you enjoy mining and a small bit of combat that's super approachable, befriending villagers. Oh my gosh, check out Dinkum, Dinkum. It's a hoot, and I think more people should be playing it. Yeah, you should, man, and you should let me know.
Because, like the one thing I did mention, like with Factorio, it's nice because I have the freedom. There's something to be said about cozy games.
Mm-hmm.
Just ones where you can kind of shut your brain off and just kind of go.
Yes, Dinkum is that for sure. And there's so many. You were saying about choice, like there's so many things to do in this game, and yeah, it's an incredible little game. I like it a lot. And it has multiplayer if you're into that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I know I was excited for co-op to be put into Stardew, and I haven't done it once.
Yeah, I did a co-op run and it was fun. Oh, and you know what? I did a co-op run with my spouse. I don't know if your spouse games, but doing co-op with hubby was a hoot actually for Stardew. But just once.
So, fun little fact, I tried to get her to do co-op in Stardew, and she's like, well, I'll just start my own garden outside. And then like a week later she started the garden outside.
That's so funny. Wow, people like touching grass and stuff. That's what a wild concept.
Right?
That's
it's
good.
Like no.
Yeah.
I don't want to actually get dirty.
Yeah. Good for her. That's great.
How dare you?
I wish I could do that.
I got too many games to play to do that.
Mm-hmm. True.
Well, I think that's all I got. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. I just want to go play a bunch of games now.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Toadie,
Hello.
where can they find you?
If you want tips and tutorials on strategy management and maybe Forex games, you can find me at youtube.com/@ToadieZZZ. If you want to watch someone being a complete goober while playing those games in a more relaxed way live, you can find me at twitch.tv/ToadieZZZ.
Nice.
Yeah.
And as for us, we are on Blue Sky, Twitter, all that kind of good stuff. YouTube, just find us at Optional Boss PC. And with that said, thank you everyone for listening, and we will see you next time.